Yes, it's a somber day in Kansas City with the confirmation yesterday of Tyreek Hill's being traded to the Miami Dolphins. In compensation, they received 5 draft picks, 3 of them this year, an extra first, 29, an extra second, 50, and an extra fourth. I believe it's 130 or 129 or something like that, but an extra fourth this year. So they have 2 draft picks in the first round, the second round, the third round, in the fourth round. What are the Chiefs going to do with all of this capital? What are they going to do from now until the draft to figure out to plug some holes? They have the most cap space in the NFL right now as it stands. They have the most draft picks in this upcoming draft with 12, I believe. What's the plan of action? This is probably the most hectic, the most chaotic thing we've seen out of Kansas City under Brett Veach. What's the plan? We're going to talk about that today. Make sure you hit the like, the bell, the sub notification. That gets you everything that we do every single week, every single day on the RGR football channel. My name is Daniel Harm. I'm going to walk you through a little bit of what we're going to really kind of see. Hopefully what we're going to see, things that we might not understand now are going to come to fruition over the next few months. And the plan of attack now has changed for the Chiefs. I mentioned yesterday that the way that they operate their offense is going to change drastically. There's not going to be a guy that can bail them out. Tyreek Hill was the guy. Like, you give it to him on the two with 8, 9, 10 yards to go, whatever, he can make something happen. He won them or gave them the opportunity to get back into that game against Buffalo in the divisional round. That touchdown he scored was incredible. Things that he does cannot be replaced. So we can't pigeonhole the Chiefs into doing one thing to do that. I don't believe trading up, taking both of your first round picks and trying to go get somebody to replace Tyreek Hill is the answer. There's going to be a plan of attack. My apologies. There's going to be some movement here. Some picks maybe be traded before the draft. We have seen Brett Veach do this with lower first round draft picks for proven players. The problem comes, are these going to be guys that command $20+ million a year? They just traded a wide receiver that got paid quarterback money. The 4 years, $120 million, okay? It's essentially a 3-year, 75, I think. But regardless, that is what we're talking about. Taking proven players, trading for them, and then having to pay them when you trade for them is not a sustainable system. And I think the Chiefs may have figured that out a little bit here. They traded for Frank Clark. They paid him. That didn't work. They traded for Orlando Brown. He's currently on the franchise tag. The contract talks for him are starting to bottom out. We don't know what's going to go on there, when he's going to get extended, if he gets extended, if he stays in Kansas City. And then they took the best wide receiver in the NFL and traded him away and didn't pay him $25 million a year. The plan has to be now, take as many shots in the dark at a draft board that you can. Maybe you trade for some guys. Maybe you sign some veteran free agents like Melvin Ingram. But this comes down to the draft. The next few drafts now are the most important thing that the Chiefs have to focus on. They have to get the right trajectory going with their draft picks. They've gotten some really good value the last couple of years, getting 2 starters in the second round last year. You have Willie Gay from a year ago, or 2 years ago. Now we're talking about Brett Veach. He actually has to put his draft stamp on this franchise. We've seen him go out, rebuild an offensive line, kind of rebuild the defense, bring in Tyrann Mathieu and Frank Clark, change the dynamic of the way the defense played. Then last year, after the Super Bowl failure against Tampa Bay, he goes out and he revamps the offensive line. We've seen him be able to do it. Now you have to take this draft in 2022 and hit at least 3 players. You need 3 young players, not only to fill out your roster, but to help your team grow. I do believe we're going to see the Melvin Ingram talks start to get going here in the next few days. I think he will be on the Chiefs roster before training camp. I think that there's also an outside chance of some movement. Maybe we talked a little bit yesterday about the Tyrann Mathieu thing. I'm not sold that he's ready to come back yet, but there's going to be picks. We're talking about doubling up at wide receiver, possibly doubling up at defensive end, possibly doubling up at corner, possibly in the draft. All of these can happen in the first 2 days of the draft, since they have 6 picks in the first 2 days, 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third. This can all change dramatically in terms of the players that they have in their roster. What are they going to do with the cap space that they have? That does give them some flexibility to maybe go trade for somebody who is going to improve but not be super expensive. The Danielle Hunters of the world are probably out of the realm of possibilities. So what are they going to do? That's this entire week unfolds. Like, we're going to have more of these mock drafts. We're going to bring more of the mock drafts to you guys. We're going to talk more about the players that they can take. I'm going to do more film reviews, not here and on Twitch, about players that the Chiefs could be taking with 29 and 30. But there are 3 positions to focus on: wide receiver, corner, and defensive end. Those are the 3 positions that they have to nail down in this draft. And this is it, guys. This is what Brett Veach has set himself up to be able to do. He changed the dynamic of the defense. He rebooted the offensive line. Now it's time for Brett Veach to be able to go out in this draft, hit on players, wide receiver, and your defense to rebuild, get younger, and reload. It's a mini rebuild for this team, and it's the most important thing that they've ever had to do. This is that time. So be prepared to talk to Seth and Ryan tonight. You can really get your full information of the questions that you want to ask for them. They're going to go deep into it. Make sure to tune into the Chief in the North tonight, and also make sure to hit that like, the bell, and the sub notification. And in the comments section today, what I want you guys to give me in the comments is the number one player that you want to leave this draft with. Doesn't matter who it is, where it is, what round, whatever. Give me the player and the round that you want the Chiefs to leave with, no matter what. This is where it gets a little bit of fun. It sucks that Tyreek Hill's gone, but there's a lot of stuff that can happen. This can be a very, very fun next month and a half, really month for the Chiefs, before the draft, into the draft. Anything can really happen. I hope you guys are dealing with the pain, finding a way to accept that this is how it is now, and hopefully with Patrick Mahomes and Brett Veach, Andy Reid, they figure this thing out. You guys have a great day.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.